four-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty, the golden voice of Neal Ruhl, and the iconic Terry Foster. Sit back and relax. It's time for your daily dose of Big D energy.
Yo, yo, yo. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Big D Energy.
Big D.
Right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neal Ruhl. That guy over there, D-Mac, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spectre Rackster, et al. Here on the squad today. No T-Foss here on Tuesday, but that's all right. He'll be back. And in the meantime, we are here getting it in. Remember the woodwardsports.com chat thread. Jump in there. Detroit Dabber 313. What up, though? What up, though, everybody? What up to Stick, too, walking through the studio right now. My guy. Happy to have everybody back. Happy to be back here. And I miss anything?
Eventful weekend all around. I think we pulled the pontoon. I was a little cold, but we breezed through it yesterday.
All
but
right.
Happy to have you back.
Happy to be back.
A couple things going on out there. Another Lions victory.
Another Lions victory, absolutely.
Couple housekeeping things you'd mentioned and everybody saw, and I seen in the chat, Giovanni Smith being moved to Florida in a three-way deal. To let people behind the curtain a little bit. When this trade went down, I got a text on our group thread, explained to me this, and I pretty much told Neal, that was Neal reaching out to the group, and I just said, it's pretty much a hashtag, why is you playing 1919, but you're not going to take on the $3.75 million contract of Michael Delzato. What you pretty much did is you swapped the $750,000 guy for the $750,000 guy.
Hold on, D-Mac, hold on. This is a moment for me right now, because what, and I did, and what D-Mac said, I sent the text. I mean, I sent it to the group, but we all know that's to D-Mac. I was like, hey, D-Mac, translate this for me.
Yeah.
And he gave me this breakdown of salary, and I'm not going to lie to you, I was sitting on an airplane actually, in Salt Lake City, Utah, and getting ready for a layover, and a single tear went down my eye, my right eye.
With new information, we're allowed to change our opinions, but at the end of that, I just wanted to end that with, it doesn't matter, hashtag Wiser playing 1919. I don't know a lot about Danny O'Regan, except the fact that he's more of a career minor league guy, but they need help up the middle, and as people who follow Grand Rapids, maybe you can help with some scoring and stuff like this. So the bottom line with this, Neal, it's the sad reality when you're trying to build an organization and a franchise. Giovanni Smith, that was my guy, dude. You know, that was somebody that I'd hoped in the new NHL be able to play sort of a role like I did back in the day. But harsh reality is that with this team, the Detroit Red Wings, he wasn't good enough. He wasn't in their plans. So this is what I love. He's going to get an opportunity to go to Florida. We're going to mix it around here, and it doesn't change to how great of a guy or a teammate he was. But moving forward, he was not part of your future. So I like the move just because it lets you know where you stand. And then he's not fluttering. He's done his time down in the minors and stuff like this. And if he's got an opportunity to crack the lineup with Florida, yeah, you hate to see it, but you wish him the best.
And my suspicion is that he probably it'll probably be very similar to what it was here for him. And the big chatter I saw on social media was, well, that was our only enforcer, and unfortunately it came on the heels of the game against the Minnesota Wild where, you know, quote, some liberties were taken. But you can't be an enforcer when you're sitting in the suite or you're a DNP.
That's the one thing. That's the biggest difference in today's game is what we talk about is these guys that if they're going to be, you know, that enforcer type guy.
You got to be able to play.
They got to play.
That's the baseline.
Like all that skate, and that's why
yeah.
Ryan Reeves can play because he can still skate. Guys like Nick Delorier, these guys can still skate. That you would look to in today's game as the, you know, the enforcer. You look at Milan Lucic still in Calgary. You know, like maybe the speed's not up, but he's definitely a physical part of the game and adds himself. That's the type of guy that you need in your lineup.
No, absolutely. You know, you brought up Milan Lucic, and I'm not looking to go off topic a little bit, but was he like the modern day you? Like
no, he was even like he was. I think he was like tougher, bigger. You know what I mean? Like I think
better
he was more
goal, like more of a goal
I think
scorer.
that Tom Wilson and I are more, even though he's a better skater and stuff like that. But yeah, Milan Lucic was the guy.
Right.
He was more along the lines of, I would look to him, and I respect him back in the day coming up, but he was more on that raw, but like that Lindros.
Right.
Ish.
Yeah, that's that line.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to
Very
understand
skilled.
this guy's like 6'4", 230 pounds. I mean, and he's mean.
Right.
And that's why you like it, but definitely a big fan of guys like that.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Remember, you guys can all jump in there. Mike G says, Rule Breaker, I'm at Eddie Bauer right now, and they have a mannequin that looks exactly like Flannel Sam. So I'm sure they do.
Hey, I mean, I'd like to take a look at that mannequin, see who's more handsome, me or the mannequin. Probably myself, but...
Probably the mannequin. Anyway, Dave Schultz says, Neal is feeling so proud of his salary capologist protege and DMAC. Just a singular tear. Just went right down, and then I kind of snapped back into it, and we moved on about our day. Anthony Galui. Neal, any good bets today? I did the Miami UAB game. You're welcome. I gave everybody a little free lunch on Friday, as it turned out.
So sprinkles.
Just a little bit, just whatever you're going to spend on lunch. Lunch on Friday was on old Uncle Neal, and you're welcome.
I know we're going to get
today
into
is a
talking
get right.
Lions and different things like that, but what did you think about the NFL football in that weekend's games? Like the overtime games, the end of the game.
It was wild, man. All of it was wild.
Isn't it crazy? And doesn't it usually come down to this part of the season? And if you're a bettor, obviously it's the hardest time.
Oh, that's what I was thinking about the most. Like there are no. If you're betting an NFL game, you're betting a coin flip. You may as well just bet on the opening coin toss.
Well, it's sort of. That's why you see a lot of these lines and stuff like this at the end, but it's tough and it's sharp. But you look at how many overtime games, does it come down to? And I think that as we get tighter, the playoff chase and everything like that, not just even with the Lions, but all throughout the league, man, it is a one-score game. And like, here's the one thing too, I would agree, right, with the narrative that we haven't talked about referees as much or penalties as much throughout this season, except this weekend. Wow, there's a lot of suspect stuff going on. And all that's, Neal, at the end of the day, what I wanted to say is one-score game. Just remember that. One score game, man. NFL.
By the way, too, Anthony, as Spencer brought up, yes, today is the get-right game. It is the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. I was on scene. I was boots on the ground in Boise yesterday. Sunday night, was able to, after our game, catch up with some of the San Jose State people. They're feeling very confident. They like where they stand.
Spot.
They like their spot, as a good friend of mine likes to say. I like their spot, too. That line's starting to juice up, though. I don't know if the word got out in the street that it was the get-right pick, Spenny.
Probably did.
It probably did.
Yeah.
That line's shooting up. I saw 4.5. Remember, though, when I locked it in, it was a 3.5, something like that.
Yeah.
So we're in there, and it opens up a lot of avenues, Spenny, for the creative bettor right now.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
It's a good time. I got locked in at 3.5.
See, my guy, right there. Mm-hmm. My guy. And 4's like a good... you got that 4 as the gap line.
Small question here.
Yes.
Okay, because our conversation when you came in, the first thing you said was, holy balls, is it cold in Boise?
Oh, yeah, it was 4 degrees Sunday night.
So, what, at game time, and I said, well, is it colder in here? Because, outside's pretty cold right now. And you said, absolutely. Will that affect the game at all?
I was talking with the San Jose State people. I was in the room. I was in the room, as Terry Foster would like to say. No, because they played at Utah State.
Okay.
They played at Utah State. They put up 30-plus points at Utah State. It was snowing, and it was all the same, the same bit.
But I think, is that not a fair question to ask? Because I think that comes down to it. It just reminded me last night as the Rams kicker was kicked the third field goal ever below 25-degree weather. I just wondered if that has an effect, and do teams talk about
that
it.
gave them confidence. That's what I was told.
It gave them confidence, but that's
the
one thing, too. So they've already had that test, so they can lean back to it, because definitely going in, Coach Brennan will be telling them, hey, boys, we've been here before.
Yep.
You ain't cold.
You're not cold. Dave Schultz says, go EMU. Sorry, Dave. It's not going to happen today.
Not happening, Dave.
fine folks. It's a fine program.
It's a fine program.
They have a fine coach.
Very fine coach.
Fine people over there, but it ain't happening for them today. I do have a question for you, too. I mentioned I was traveling yesterday, and Boise to Detroit through Salt Lake City is everything you think it is.
Oh, wow.
And
That doesn't make sense to me.
yeah. Anyway, here's the thing. So I downloaded my stuff. I re-downloaded my stuff. I only watch stuff I've already seen. Am I weird? Like, is that weird? Does anybody else do? I literally watch very few new shows or new movies. Yesterday it was Cocaine Cowboys on Netflix. All 5 episodes of it. It's great docuseries on the cocaine trade in South Florida.
Gotta love it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, how are you not? How are you not gonna love that? It's just another Dave Chappelle stand-up that I've seen 100 times. I only watch stuff I've already seen.
So do you search out new stuff? Because I think that the airplane, right, when you have the video monitor in front of you, is the one place where you dip your toe into new stuff. I know, like for my wife, for example, we'll download episodes or a movie or whatever and watch it on her iPad and stuff like this. I'll crapshoot, but to your point, Neal, that's the only time. If I'm sitting at home, I'm watching old stuff, unless it's wrestling.
Right.
Unless it's wrestling, stuff that I haven't seen. But yeah, to that point, is it the comfort of it? Is it because you know what you're going to get, that you're going to be entertained, that you know that you can meld into something that will take that time away?
No, you know what it is, and this just popped in my head when you brought that up. Here's what I think it is. I think it's that I see it, I know it, I'm comfortable with it, I know how long it is, so I know when it's over, I know where I'll be and how close I am to the end of the destination. Because what's traveling anyway? It's the ultimate penalty kill, right? Like you're just killing the penalty. Now I like it because when you're a dad and you got all these jobs going and everything like that, it's like mowing the lawn. It's the only time you get to like tap out. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Yeah,
100%. I mean, that's I did, to that point, I fell in, and I would recommend to anybody out there, but that Everything Everywhere All at Once movie, that looks weird as heck. It is, but I fell into it on the plane and actually was like, enjoyed it. Now it's getting some rub for some awards, so it deserves it.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread, Ethan Brown. I almost never watch something twice. Okay, so yeah, I'm asking for perspective. I want to know if I'm weird about it. Rad Dad Scott, Neal, I've watched Unrivaled 20 times by now. No shame. So there you go. Good plug for that, D-Mac. Anthony Hurley, same, Neal. Pretty much all the new stuff is garbage these days. Anyway, is that true?
No. It's not true. It's not, but that being said, I have watched when I was at MSU, I watched Trailer Park Boys like 5 times front to back. I've seen The Sopranos like 4 times. I've seen The Wire like 4 times. So I feel like the classics you stick to, but there's good new stuff coming out too.
Okay, where do you stand? Am I weird for this or no?
No, I mean not doing it ever is it's a little weird, but because there are like, have you seen Ozark? Have you seen?
Yeah.
Okay, well, so
Ozark was like the pandemic watch that I got into, and I did enjoy it. When I do watch something, it's not like I'm mentally closed off or anything. I did enjoy Ozark.
Yeah.
It was very, very good.
Very good. Great acting.
We watched Ozark and Breaking Bad. That was like our pandemic watches that we did.
Breaking Bad's good. Skylar ruins Breaking Bad for me. She's terrible. Oh no, don't sell meth. And then 2 seasons later, yeah, sell meth. And then 2 seasons later, no, don't sell meth.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't do it.
Yeah. So yeah, I was just wondering. How how everybody laid out on that one. This one's pretty. Detroit Dabber. Neal needs to know how much of a time hit the show will be on his time salary cap. I got to count.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I got to count. Hey, we're accounting for a lot of these toys that are in this studio right now.
Yes, absolutely. And all this week, Woodward Sports is stuffing our studio. Every year we team up with Mike at Meyer on 12 Mile and Telegraph and Guardian Alarm to kick off Stuff a Studio. Now we want you to help us stuff our studio full of new unwrapped toys for the children of Mott Children's Hospital in Ann Arbor. Stop by all week long and drop off a toy from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. or send a donation to our Venmo at Woodward Sports, and we will shop for you. 'Tis the season to give back to the children. Stuff a Studio 2022 powered by Wicked Awesome Wishes.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Jeff Okuda and Wicked Awesome Wishes present Hope for the Holidays. Jeff Okuda gives his financial support, time, and love for the city of Detroit with Chad Johnson and his amazing foundation, Wicked Awesome Wishes. Together, Jeff and Chad have been game planning all year long to make this Christmas one to remember for underprivileged children and their families. Special thanks to Lions players Amon-Ra St. Brown, Tracy Walker, Will Harris, and more, along with Lions alumni Lomas Brown and Joyak Bell, and the awesome people at Lighthouse Coolidge Community Building in Oak Park. Together, we'll make sure every child has new shoes, warm coats, hats, and socks, plus free haircuts to help everyone feel their best. And don't forget Woodward Sports, Braylon Edwards, Ryan Ermanni, and Darren McCarty will be there too. Hope for the holidays from Jeff Okuda and Wicked Awesome Wishes.
Neal Ruhl here for Planet Fitness, the official studio sponsor of Woodward Sports. And it's home of the judgment-free zone. We can work out for just $10 a month. The black card, too. That's always an option. You get unlimited guest privileges. You basically own the Planet Fitnesses, and you have access to over 2,000 of them around the world with those unlimited guest privileges, hydro massage, and more. Join today in club. You're going to pass a couple on the way home. Pull in the parking lot, join there, or go to planetfitness.com. It's Planet Fitness, Mr. Darren McCarty.
We're your fitness. Your fitness is essential.
All right, we are back at it. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter, T-Foss will be back tomorrow, wrapping up that discussion from the last segment. Juice's Ghost, there's nothing worth watching anymore, only Curse of Oak Island. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Tonight will be the night, right? They'll get gold tonight.
We're getting cool. We got gold water. Look out. Look out. You know what? I said to you during the break, I said, the question was always Lions playoff victory or Oak Island gold. It was always Oak Island gold, except, you know what? Patience, resilience. Neal, just know this. They're taking their time. They're going to make sure. But when they get down there, they're going to get it, buddy. So you want to get on? Well, I'm going to be quiet about Oak Island until I have the gold in my hand.
All right. Thank you very much for that. I wasn't in yesterday. I'll give you some thoughts, obviously, on the Lions game. I do want to get, I missed some of the people's reactions to it, too. I do want to discuss it. And look, I know most of it has been said out there, but my main takeaway from this game on Sunday, and we'll see how this plays into the rest of what we're going to talk about, is you know what? You know what the Lions were for the first time in a very, very long time? They were a pitcher that didn't have their good stuff and found a way to win.
Wasn't that like they did what NFL
on the road?
Anything, both together. The big theme yesterday that I said is that building this Lions team from the coaching staff to the offense, defense, special, all around, they're all in it together. They fought hard to the end. It wasn't pretty. The bend but don't break. We got into the talking about, Neal, the fact that you have to beat Zach Wilson if you're a playoff team. You still gave him up 2 tutties and 317, but it's a bend but don't break.
And here's the other key too that we talked about. In the end, Zach Wilson was Zach Wilson, just like we knew he would be, just like he's always going to be. And good luck, New York Jets, as a franchise. Good luck. Well, see you later.
They got Mike White.
They got to have him, man. They got to have him. But you know what? I don't care, because Lions get the road win. Again, didn't have their best stuff, but were able to grind through 6 2/3 with 3 earned runs. That's what they did. They did just enough to win, and that's all you got to do. Especially, you talked about it in this one-score league that it is. They did that.
Absolutely. And
I want to know, D-Mac, and I'm curious to get your perspective on this. And I know we've talked about this as a topic before, and like the what's changed. And I know we've had like a lot of 30,000-foot stuff, but that was another change. They didn't have the fastball.
But they stuck to it. You're right. Like, to me, as far as the 60-minute game where it just wasn't working, but they did not stop the whole game of working hard. You know, they gave up some big plays. They made some frustration. You know, a lot more penalties. What did they do right? They won the turnover battle. And what did they do, Neal, also, too? Right? Stayed out of their own way and let the other team make some crucial mistakes. We question Robert Saleh and his clock management. You know, so that goes to show you, again, coaching in this league is tough, but no matter what, this Lions team, they're out there fighting, clawing, scratching, even when they don't. Different guys stepping up. You look at the 2 guys that stepped up with touchdowns. Khalif Raymond Break, who's been stepping up more so offensively, but showed up with the return, punt return there, and then Brock Wright, who, here's the one thing, Neal, a lot of times, this goes to show a lot of things. Brock Wright just dropped one that was an easier catch earlier on in that drive, or simply, and they went back to it. There was audio caught in the end zone where, who was it, spending 42, would have came up and said, "We believe in you, Brock. We believe in you, man." Like, that's it. Like, this team believes in each other. They believe in the coach. The coaches believe in them. All this stuff, they're in it together, Neal, and that's what's changed.
And on the WoodwardSports.com chat thread, it actually just, here it is, William Rhodes. Wilson outplayed Goff, though, right? No, because Wilson made the mistake. That's the game turner, man. When you make mistakes, when there are turnovers, you lose football games in the NFL. In a league that's a one-score league.
It's a possessions league, right?
It's a
How many more
possessions
times
league,
do you
dude.
hear we have to steal a possession? And you know what? That's what they did. That's why the turnover game's so well. Say what you want about Jared Goff, but what has he turned it through one pick in the past 7 games? You know what I'm saying?
So yes,
like, that's
Jared Goff
taking
is
care.
playing
That's
better
doing
than Zach
your
Wilson.
formula. It's not pretty, Neal. That's the whole thing. Do you want it pretty or do you want to win?
I actually got the stat right here. Lions quarterback Jared Goff, Sticks boy, has not thrown an interception in 219 consecutive passes. This establishes a new franchise record and serves as the longest active streak in the NFL. He's the first Lions quarterback to go 6 straight starts without producing a turnover.
That's it.
So there's a key. There's a big, huge, glowing key to this Lions team's success. Say what you want. It's you can't turn that ball over to that. And they've surrounded him enough with playmakers around him to make plays, right? Here's the whole thing. Neal, like you got Brock Wright doing this. You haven't lost anything. You probably gained something in the tight end position by using a couple guys and getting rid of T.J. Hawkinson.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's it. It's just the thing. What I see is that I don't see an offensive team. I don't see an offense and a defense and a special team. I see one whole team, coaches and all.
And by the way, too, I talked about a single tear coming down my eye when I watched Brock Wright in the open field make a huge play in a football game on the road for the league minimum.
Yep, facts.
Single tear came right down my eye.
Are we not doing things, right, that we're used to other teams doing to us?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 1,000,000%.
So is that not what's changed?
Yeah, and look, Steve Brown says throwing 300 yards plus is fine, but if you lose, you lose. Yards mean nothing, like Stafford's yards all of those years. And D-Mac, here's the one thing I've learned. We've been working together here at Woodward now, moving into our second year. And I've learned a lot, as I've learned a lot throughout the years from you, from working with you in the past. As an ex-athlete, this has to be maddening because everything has become so stat-driven all the time. And if you look at a box score, you would say, oh, yeah, Zach Wilson outplayed Jared Goff. In no way, shape, or form did I ever fear Zach Wilson out there on the field. I never feared him.
Which glasses are you wearing? You're wearing, that person is wearing his fantasy football glasses. He's wearing his, not saying it's, he's wearing his stats, his analytics, how 3/4 of the country view football through the app, through their fantasy
I'm looking
football.
through game
so that
flow.
to them, the fact that Zach Wilson, I had Jared Goff. I had to play Trevor Lawrence this week, and Trevor Lawrence put 4 touchdowns on the board, right, to win to whatever. I lost by like 8 points. Jared Goff had like 17 and was solid, but it wasn't flashy. So you look at Zach Wilson and the numbers he put up more points, but at the end of the day, he didn't win the game. So I think it's like, how are you looking at the game analytically? I think a lot of times, too, you run into this in business. So don't just look at this from a sports aspect. Take it like everything's about analytics, Facebook. What do we get? What about to the guy you're trying to sell to that doesn't go on there, that has that intermediary person, right? That doesn't use the Facebook or whatever as his prime tool, right? You have to account for that. The percentage of it, right, can change. So is it 25%? I'm not saying it's not, but everything has to go into that. I don't think people look at it that way. They just look at stats, right, and say how many fantasy points to get. Well, he had to play better. No, because at the end of the day, it's about winning.
Yeah, and again, it goes back to game flow for me. Just sitting there watching that game, I never... did I feel like the Lions were in danger, like in trouble? I mean, yeah, I suppose a couple of times, but I never thought that Zach Wilson was taking over that football game. Never. Not for a second. And then he makes the mistake, and Jared Goff doesn't make the mistake. Case closed. And spending...
Well, how about the comfortability? That's what you said, right? You're waiting for Zach Wilson to make that mistake.
I'm waiting for Zach Wilson.
How he was playing, what he was doing, floating those balls up or whatever. It could have been.
He got away with it a couple times.
A couple of the catches were ridiculous, too, which thwarted it. But not for once, because the way we protected our quarterback, Goff didn't get sacked, that you just thought that, okay, Goff's not going to do something. You're hoping he's not going to make that one throw that I say he makes a game, right, that he hasn't got kicked in the butt for. But the fact is that it's just it's that constant, Neal. It's that constant, right? And that's what the offense has done, and it's enabled them to believe in each other. And they believe in themselves to be able to, like they should have been, they're probably sitting in the huddle going, boys, we put the most points up, over 30 in the league this year. We can get this. Let's go. Believe in ourselves.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread, Rad Dad Scott. Spencer, better start getting that Dan Campbell tattoo drawn up if the Lions make the playoffs.
I forgot about that.
He's sketching.
I forgot about that.
If there's one thing that I know about our audience, you'll never forget.
Yeah, they do not forget.
Oh.
Right, Sam Flannel?
No, they're like elephants. What do they say? An elephant never forgets. I say one thing and it is never, ever forgotten about. But going back to Zach Wilson, even if you're just looking at stats or more analytical, which I tend to be more than the average person, he made the one critical mistake of that game, that atrocious interception when it was 10-10 that directly led to 3 points by the Detroit Lions.
And it changed the entire flow of the game.
Yep.
And
stole a possession.
And what was the final margin of victory? It was 3 points. And that was during a time where both offenses were stagnant. The only reason the Lions were able to take the lead was because Zach Wilson threw that flutter ball that was intercepted by Jerry Jacobs, which he took to about the 15-yard line, and the Lions were able to make a field goal, and Jared Goff did not make that mistake. That was the difference in the game. Yards be damned, touchdowns be damned. Zach Wilson made the critical mistake. That was the difference in the game.
And that's the thing when I talk about game flow is, and we see this a lot in basketball, but we never realize it, especially in college basketball, and I've seen it a lot this year, where, like in the Oakland game at Boise State, it's 10-10 or whatever, there's a flow going, and Oakland will shoot kind of an ill-advised three that kicks off the heel and leads to a transition basket. And Boise State's like 1 for their first 13 from 3. But they get out in transition, and the guy on the wing gets an open 3. And he makes it, and the crowd gets into it. And then they make the next one, and they make the next one. Game flow. You know what I'm saying? Like those plays, singular plays in time that change the entire complexion of everything. And they never get the credit that they deserve at the time that it happened. You know what I'm saying? But everything is different now. Imagine if the Jets, if he doesn't throw that pick and they score, Everything's different.
Well, it just always is. It's always game flow. It's the same way as that where we got into it yesterday and we talked about that going for it early on fourth down and being able to pin the Jets defensively led to your punt return.
Yeah.
Right. So in a roundabout way, but it is game flow and it's stealing possessions.
And real quick, too, before we cut to the break, Chili Damon says Wilson overcame those 3 points to take the lead. But, Chili, the game flow changed. That's what's different about it. The game, you felt New York getting momentum and getting things going. And if they were able to take the lead at that point, everything could have been different. But he made the big mistake. And, yes, they overcame it to take the lead, but think about what that lead could have been.
I mean, but I'd also argue that leading your offense to 17 points isn't usually enough to win the game, and that's just not good enough in the NFL. They did take the lead, but it was 17-13. You gotta think that the Lions are going to be able to score more than 17 points, and they did. 17's not good enough.
You got a defense like the Jets. 17 will win you some games.
Yeah, well,
it's not enough to win in the NFL.
They were on the road, and it was a big bog project. But you know what? They got it done.
It was, and they got it done. Thank goodness, Sam Flannel. 20 points was enough. But the bog project, just like Alta, because at Alta, uptime matters. Alta equipment has everything that you need to get the job done right. Looking outside, it's gloomy. You may have a bog project out in the yard, but Alta Rent, they got you covered. So give them a call today, 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That's 844-GO-TO-ALTA.
It's back. Year 3 of Woodward Sports Stuff a Studio is here. The past 2 years, we've collected new unwrapped toys and stuffed our studio so we could hardly fit in it. This year, we're doing it even bigger. Join Woodward Sports and our whole family December 19th to the 23rd as we stuff our studio. While you're out shopping or just sitting on your couch ordering presents, make sure you grab one extra and drop it off at our studio, 15 Mile in Woodward and Birmingham. We'll be collecting toys around the clock to make sure every child in Mott's Children's Hospital feels the warmth of the holiday season. It's the time of year to do for others. Help us stuff our studio. Special thanks to all the wonderful elves at Meyer and Guardian Alarm for keeping the toys safe. Stuff a Studio 2022 with Woodward Sports.
As chilly weather approaches, Big Boy's got the perfect comfort meals for you. Try our hearty classic meatloaf or our creamy Cajun chicken Alfredo. These will be sure to leave you craving for more. How about breakfast? Our stuffed potato pancakes are back with our Lumberjack, Blockbuster, and Santa Fe Garden. These potato pancakes will definitely fill you up. Whether it's for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, come stock up on the perfect comfort meal today. We'll see you soon at Big Boy.
My name is Lee. I've lost 35 pounds on the Custom Health Center program. So the 3 biggest benefits that I've gotten from this program has been I'm not snoring anymore, I have a lot of energy, it's great, and oh, by the way, look at this. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
The Foaling Warehouse in Hamtramck is the home of the original football bowling pin game called Foaling. Multiple different ways you can play. They've got $12 open unlimited play and private lane reservation for $120. If you get thirsty, they got a $2 mystery beer vending machine and multiple fully loaded bars for you to choose from. So make sure you go check them out in Hamtramck or visit them online at FoalingWarehouse.com.
Off and running, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal, Ruhl, Darren, McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter with you, Rich Diana, WoodwardSports.com chat thread. We need a GoFundMe account for Spencer's huge tattoo.
That'd help. That would help.
Oh,
we should
yeah,
do
baby.
that,
You know
actually.
what? I'm going to throw you a 20 so you can go down and get about 10 of those mystery beers from Foaling Warehouse before you go in, bud. You'll be all right.
Remind everybody, what were the stakes again, Spenny?
So originally, it was a bet that me and Sam Flannel had on the Thanksgiving Day game, that if the Lions won, I'd get the tattoo. But they didn't. So I changed it to if they make the playoffs, I would get a tattoo of Dan Campbell's face on my thigh. And it's looking like they're probably going to make the playoffs. So I'll probably get his face with like an Attababy banner above it.
Man.
Playoffs,
What about man in quotation
playoffs
marks?
2022.
Man.
Yeah, that's, it is what it is. I'm a man of my word. I'll get it done. So, yeah. I honestly forgot about that until today.
Oh my God! They never forget.
They never forget.
They never forget, Spenny. Remember that.
I appreciate you guys in the chat so much. Such great people.
Really good fans of the show. Really good. No, but hey, remember too, the podcast, by the way, you can subscribe to the podcast. Goes right to your phone. Popped up on my phone on Monday after the show. And wherever you get your podcast, go ahead and subscribe to the Big D Energy Pod. Rewind, fast forward, all that stuff. So whatever you want to do, however you can consume it.
Okay, I'm not getting a tramp stamp. I'm not getting a grit whale tail. It's not happening.
Here we go.
On my thigh.
So Spencer's in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread, your Spencer tattoo ideas.
Yeah.
Take this in the avenue that we took the Black Santa thing, okay? But apply those same principles.
I already have one tattoo in the middle of my back. I'm not getting a tramp stamp.
A tramp stamp. Oh, man. I can't wait for this. You know what? And Spenny brought this to our attention here. Kerby Joesph. He leads voting.
Number one Pro Bowl voted free safety in the NFC.
Think about that for a minute. You look at him, and you know, when we recreate this, D-Mac, when I asked that question a couple weeks ago, what changed? When you notice Kerby Joesph got on the scene, and then a little bit later on, James Houston got on the scene.
Wait, are those drafted guys? Are those young guys under first contracts?
When I recreate that is along the time frame. You know what I'm saying? Elite play. Is Kerby Joesph an elite playmaker so far this year?
He has been, yes.
Elite.
He's a ball hawk. The ball followed. He's one of those guys that that he follows the ball around. He's always around the ball, right, and stuff like that. So I mean, they all have a part of it. Obviously, you get a healthy Josh Pascal on the defense and stuff like this. These are all these young guys that are getting healthy, that are being a part of it, that are learning together in this bend but don't break defense. But yes, James Houston, 5 sacks and limited snaps, you know, has been effective, and you know, you hear why his technique is. It's tough to get a guy that comes around the corner that low. I mean, it's putting him out there, but it's all these drafted young guys that are getting in there, and it's the sort of trial by fire. You've said it all along. What the Lions and Brad Holmes did in re-signing some of their own guys was going to say, hey, you're going to learn from experience, right? Everything that you always hear about drafting the quarterback and letting him either sit behind or throwing him out there and learn him trial by fire, that's what this defense is getting for the most part, with a couple veterans, right? You look at Warrior coming back, you know, being effective, couple sacks. So I mean, you can't help but be optimistic because of these young guys, but this defense, and they should get better.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread, Real Cream of Wheat. Get a tramp stamp of Black Santa and Motor City Dan Campbell together.
I'm not getting a tramp stamp.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Denzel Vance. I haven't seen you in here before, Denzel. If I missed you, I apologize, but welcome to the show. You should get a tramp stamp if the Lions go to the Super Bowl. What about that?
This year?
Yes.
Hold on. Wait. I missed that one. Do it again.
You should get a tramp stamp if the Lions go to the Super Bowl. If they go to the Super Bowl, but come on, Spenny, do it for the do it for the culture.
Oh my God.
Do it for the culture.
No, I'm not. No. Listen, no, you're not. No, but if they won the Super Bowl, right? Then your inner thigh tattoo or your thigh tattoo, that's fine. You can't get a tramp stamp for just going to the Super Bowl.
You got to win it?
I'm not allowing it. Not you. Easy all day long.
Yeah.
If they finish with 9 wins, Easy can get a tramp stamp.
If they get to 6 wins.
Yeah, if they get to 6.
I can't get a tramp
He's already got one. Who are you kidding?
If they win the Super Bowl, Spenny. If they win it. All right, that's fair. D-Mac, that's fair. I think that's fair. If they win the Super Bowl.
I can't get a tramp stamp. I can't agree to getting a tramp stamp. I can't do it. I'll get like...
Yeah. Boo this man.
I'll get like my nipple pierced or something.
No, nobody... No. A tramp stamp.
A grit stamp for a tramp stamp. Just say grit.
Just grit right there at the tramp. Yes.
MCDC.
Who says no to this?
With MCDC, so it looks like Roman numeral signature.
Like Alex Haggerty says it in the chat, like, come on, Spence, we're not going to the Super Bowl, you're saying. Anything could happen in the playoffs. So I can't admit to that. That's too far.
Do it, that guy 62 for the culture.
I'll do it. I'll get another tattoo. But
No. There's no putting the toothpaste back in the tube now at this point.
I'm not doing it. I'm not, because if it happens, I'll be so happy though that I won't even be that mad about it.
Borat says if Jared Goff wins the Super Bowl, I'll get a Jared Goff face tattooed on my face. Can we get that? Can we get that on your cheek?
Hey, could you imagine? Because he's not the only one. You walk around town and you got like thousands of little Goff tattoos.
Come on.
If Jared Goff wins the Super Bowl, I'll get 16 tatted on like behind my ear.
Like a Post Malone
like
style
Post
thing?
Malone tattoo behind my ear. I'll get 16. If he wins the Super Bowl in Detroit.
You'll get a what?
I'll get 16 tatted like behind my ear.
How about by the eye, like Birdman? Birdman.
No,
Come on.
No, I can't get actual face tattoos or a tramp stamp.
Just right, a little small, right there, a little 16.
Can't do it.
But you'll get it behind your ear.
I'll get it behind the ear.
Have you? Everyone has this, right? We've got this.
That's Super Bowl?
If he wins the Super Bowl, he will get a 16 behind his ear.
Yeah. In Detroit. If he wins the Super Bowl in Detroit.
Okay. What about Rustin Burks? I haven't seen you on here before, Rustin. Appreciate you tapping into the show. What about grit in Latin script across your belly?
Oh, there you go.
If they win the Super Bowl, I'll do that.
Yes, okay. There you go.
That's fair.
That's fair.
We'll get MCDC underneath of it.
Yeah. In Latin script.
Like Thug Life, but grit.
Neck tat of Goff. You guys are the best, man. You just take it and you go. And they just take off with it. I love it.
So if they win the Super Bowl...
But here's the one thing, and I agree with the councilman, right? Thing is, Spenny, because you got to watch, because you will be committed. Not like the guy who used to be in the booth that took 10 and 7. Yeah. Remember Art Smith that welched on his tattoo? So thanks for bringing that up, Robert. I did a few years ago. I did remember that. So
yeah, I mean,
you must be careful. You're a man of your word.
I'm a man of my word.
Yes, you are.
If they make the playoffs this year, I'm getting the Dan Campbell tattoo.
And if they win the Super Bowl, you're getting grit in Latin script. Jeremy Anderson says grit life.
Grit life.
Grit life. Whoa.
Till I got the grit life tatted on my chest.
If they win the Super Bowl, I'll get grit across the tummy.
In Latin script.
In Latin script and 16 behind the ear.
I like it. I just think you should put the MCDC on it. Yeah. So that would add to it.
Jonathan Anton.
Latin and Roman.
Jonathan Anton, Kerby Joesph is an all-pro. Oh, yeah, that was the original point of this discussion.
But you know what that tells me, Neal, to the whole discussion is that if he's leading in the fan vote, then that's coming from outside also.
That's everywhere.
So people are noticing this, and so that's a great thing too, because it's when you get the flowers from the outside, especially when you're a younger guy. That's huge. You know, we always talk about what Sauce Gardner's doing at corner with the Jets. Well, you know what, guys? We got a ball hawk here in Kerby Joesph that's making noise to other people around the NFL, and that's something that makes me feel good.
Oh, boy. Here on Mark M. says, I need to know, will it be above or below the belly button?
Above. Grit. Right above.
Latin script. The Latin script makes me pop. I don't know why.
Right there.
All right. Hey, the Sports Marketing Agency, they help spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast is called This is the S Word. It helps fight the stigma about seeking help. If you're struggling, go to thesportsma.com. But what about this? What if somebody you know is struggling? Go to thesportsma.com. The Sports Marketing Agency, they're here to help.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Jeff Okuda and Wicked Awesome Wishes present Hope for the Holidays. Jeff Okuda gives his financial support, time, and love for the city of Detroit with Chad Johnson and his amazing foundation, Wicked Awesome Wishes. Together, Jeff and Chad have been game planning all year long to make this Christmas one to remember for underprivileged children and their families. Special thanks to Lions players Amon-Ra St. Brown, Tracy Walker, Will Harris, and more, along with Lions alumni Lomas Brown and Joyak Bell, and the awesome people at Lighthouse Coolidge Community Building in Oak Park. Together, we'll make sure every child has new shoes, warm coats, hats, and socks, plus free haircuts to help everyone feel their best. And don't forget Woodward Sports' Braylon Edwards, Ryan Ermanni, and Darren McCarty will be there too. Hope for the holidays from Jeff Okuda and Wicked Awesome Wishes.
All this week, Woodward Sports is stuffing our studio. Every year we team up with Mike at Meyer on 12 Mile and Telegraph and Guardian Alarm to kick off Stuff a Studio. Now we want you to help us stuff our studio full of new unwrapped toys for the children of Mott Children's Hospital in Ann Arbor. Stop by all week long and drop off a toy from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. or send a donation to our Venmo at Woodward Sports and we will shop for you. 'Tis the season to give back to the children. Stuff a Studio 2022, powered by Wicked Awesome Wishes.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter. You know the squad. T-Foss will be back tomorrow. WoodwardSports.com chat thread. You guys are on one today. You always are. Clomp Sauce. I have a unicorn tattoo as a result of a lost bet. Unicorn tattoo.
As long as you get it somewhere nobody will see, it's not a big of a deal.
Yeah. D-Mac, you were telling me stories about some of the tattoos people have of you. Do you find that odd to be tattooed on someone else's body?
Yeah, I'm just
Be
fine.
real.
Like
Is it odd though?
Not when it's not for no reason, right? Like there's a couple that have the famous fight photo of me turtling the Mew with Vernie and Channing, and I've seen it. On arms and on legs and stuff like this.
That's
the
badass.
one thing is that you always get is that people ask me to sign their skin, and I won't sign their skin. But if you let me know, like time we have a conversation and get into it, but that it's something that means something to you, that they're like where I always say it's not ever 100%. So I think there's like 7 out there, people that have tattoos of my signature on them because it meant something either on a Stanley Cup tattoo or something, but we've built this relationship. Yeah. I got photos of them everywhere because that's what the thing is. If you have tattoos, it's that story that it tells to you for the most part, like all mine.
Yeah.
Like Sun Griffin on my arm, and I'm fully tatted. I haven't gotten in a while. Got my number and sobriety date and stuff, but it's all that goes and tells a story. What better story than a little the Latin G is
the Latin G is the one.
Because does everybody know what a Latin G is? Right? We gotta get somebody in the back. Put grit on a Latin G that it would look like in
Spence will get that. I know Spence will get that. WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Don't think Sam Flannel's off the hook either. Ethan Brown. Now I know he was waived, but if they re-sign Tom Kennedy and he catches the game-winning touchdown in the Super Bowl, Sam Flannel gets a TK85 tattoo.
Okay, fine.
On your shoulder.
Okay, that's fine. I agree to those terms, but Tom Kenny's not getting back onto the roster. He's
Sam,
gone. He's gone.
You're getting too granular right now. Live in the moment, brother.
So this is not the time to bring back Tom Kennedy on me when he was just cut. I thought that the Lions' offense was going to fall apart without him. They scored 40 against Jacksonville, 34 against Minnesota.
They struggled to get in the 20s without him.
Oh, against the Jets. That was a whole team offensive struggle.
First game after he gets cut, they don't score over 20
I'm not saying it's because of him. I'm not saying it's not because of him. Yeah. I'm saying those are the facts.
Did he play against the Jaguars and the Minnesota Vikings, though? No, DJ Chark did, and he was dominant. We don't need Tom Kennedy. This is not the time to bring back Tom.
Great players, just their presence raises the level of everybody else's play. Is that fair?
He motivated him from the sideline routine.
So you're thinking
That's
that
false.
the elevation level that Tom Kennedy got this team to was all he could do. Now it's time for him to move on.
It's not nothing. But
that it's time for him to move on and work his magical ways somewhere else.
I think it's
done
time.
Everything he can do for this organization.
I think it's time to re-sign him and make Ethan Brown's dream come true of Tom Kennedy catching the winning touchdown in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
as time expires.
I'll get that tattoo for sure.
Is this what we're talking about?
So Spenny's got a 16 and an 85.
Let's see. What do we got here?
That's the Latin school.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
Look at that. Oh, yeah. And we all know it. I only have eyes for Jared Goff.
Yeah.
That's what Spenny says. There it is, boys.
Lewis M. Lions look flat this Sunday without him.
That's true.
Your thoughts on the Lions offense post Tom Kennedy? 248.
I mean, it just so happens that the game after they release him, they only score 20 points. It's not a coincidence.
No. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. But it happened that way.
I like to believe it isn't.
I want to believe it isn't. However, those are the circumstances.
Yeah.
Like, who are we to deny reality,
We deal in
D-Mac?
facts.
Dealing facts only.
I think we'll be all right. Obviously, moving forward, Craig Reynolds, it came down to Craig Reynolds or Tom Kennedy, and you saw where they stood.
Yeah.
With Craig Reynolds.
No, absolutely.
We're going Netflix instead, but best of luck to Tom Kennedy.
Real cream of wheat. If Tom Kennedy was there and in the game, he would have scored at least 3 touchdowns on his own. I think that's fair. He would have gotten 3 first downs.
I love the unprovable hypotheticals, but it was Brock Wright who made the big play. That was.
If Tom Kennedy's in that situation, he probably gets there faster.
Probably.
You know what? If I was a woman, I would have a hoo-ha, and I don't. You know what? So we can't live in like ifs in the world of ifs.
Honolulu Blue Sparty. And you guys are on your game. Honolulu Blue Sparty says, notice how the run game is slowed down without TK85 as a threat down the field.
That's a good point.
Oh, it's his blocking that he excels at. Right. All 5'8", 155 pounds of him. Fear. Man, Tom Kennedy, I hate that guy so much.
Well, you notice that on the play.
You know what? He hates you too.
You notice that on Jared Goff's throw, Jameson Wilson deep, it would have been good if Tom Kennedy was in the game. Then that safety would have had to respected Kennedy flying by him at a greater speed to the right side of the end zone.
You know, Tom Kennedy's not as fast as Jameson Williams, so it would have dropped right over the shoulder, right into the bucket, and it would have been a touchdown.
The old because he's not as good and as fast, it would have helped him. That's
true.
The reasoning you guys use to prop up that bum is it's beyond laughable.
It's a good point.
Beyond laughable.
You can't admit. It's a good point.
DNCENT TK85 deserves to go somewhere where his talents are appreciated, and that somewhere is not a team that Sam Flannel roots for.
That's actually fair.
I'm with it. No, I will not be getting a Block M tattoo, so just stop. Save the energy.
Yeah, that's something I won't do either.
Yeah, save the energy of typing that stuff out.
They win the national championship?
No.
No.
Although I could have said that if they win an outright national championship, I could have said that every year since the World War times, and I still wouldn't have a tattoo.
That's a good point.
I'm just saying. I
They
could
got a
have.
chance this year.
You got half of one.
Yeah, I could have gotten a block. I could have got half a block,
a block
and an advertisement for war bonds on my other shoulder.
War bonds.
Uncle Sam needs you.
Tone.
That guy 62. I sense tone incoming. He typed it out before I even went down the road. He typed it out. You know what, that guy? You were correct. No, you were correct. There it is, tone. Yes, I know. There it is. That is good. I do want to wrap up this discussion real quick, and I'm not going to get to the time dedicated to it that I want. But the moral of the story is, Kerby Joesph is an impact player. James Houston is an impact player. Aiden Hutchinson has proven to be, at times, an impact
really,
player.
The guy who leads the all rookies in sacks, you have to have the qualifier of at times. Come on, Neal.
Well, hey.
Come on.
James Houston, man.
He's second, which is incredible, by the way, that you have the number 1 rookie in sacks and the number 2 rookie in sacks.
That's something that hasn't been done in the NFL for 20-plus years.
Right.
In the 6th round.
Yeah.
So for this year, Brad Holmes has plucked 2 6th-round rookies who are starters and impact players. You should be in the Hall of Fame of GMs just for that.
With Kerby Joesph.
With Kerby Joesph as a 3rd rounder.
Is there He has to win Executive of the Year, right?
You're not going to hear Neal argue with you about the Hall of Fame for Brad Holmes. You heard Terry sit up here yesterday and go, Brad Holmes has been here 2 years and he's the greatest GM in Lions history. Facts, right,
Terry
Neal?
said that yesterday, yeah.
Facts. That's from Terry Foster for the fact, because he's picking guys and producing. For me, when you're getting the young guys, and I know we've been talking about, well, why don't you draft a guy that's healthy? Why don't you draft a guy? No, because if you know what, I don't care if you're hurt, whatever like this, and you come in and make this sort of an impact, and the coaches know how to use you in your game plan and stuff like this. This is how you're going to get better, and we're getting better the way you said. And the best part from you, cheap.
Cheap, man.
Cheap.
That's so weak.
What's that?
Slowly but surely coming into the
odds
realm.
on Executive of the Year.
Do you expect, Neal, just real quick, do you expect, obviously getting voted, but do you expect anybody else to get consideration for Pro Bowl?
The Lions released it. Here, let me find it real fast.
Yeah, I saw they put something out there on social media. I mean, it's amazing to me.
We go through Amon-Ra St. Brown. You go to Jamal Williams because he's got all the touchdowns. You go to the offensive line. But my point is, do you think they get the respect of having somebody chosen in there? Obviously, it looks like Kerby Joesph.
Yeah, Kerby Joseph's going to be starting.
Well, it could be. The fan vote's a third of the final voting and stuff, but it's just the awareness around the league, right? That it goes to show you that the spotlight is coming more to Detroit than it would just as we were talking at the beginning of the year with Hard Knocks and stuff like this, and the way the year started, that it was just like making a joke. It's not a joke, and the rest of the league is taking notice. So
the fan voting is over obviously now, and Lions fans voted out of NFC players. Kerby Joesph first for free safeties, right now second for centers, Hutch second for defensive ends, Sewell third for tackles, Amon-Ra third for wide receivers, Jonah Jackson third for guards, Decker fifth for tackles, Goff fifth for quarterbacks, Jamal fifth for running backs, and Elliott sixth for strong safeties. So
weird what happens when you win games, right? It's absolutely weird what happens.
Well, it is weird what happens. But speaking of the football team, and some of the guys that you named are going to be with us tonight. Yes, tonight is the night that Jeff Okudah and Wicked Awesome Wishes present Hope for the Holidays. Jeff Okudah and a bunch of his Lions teammates, along with Chad Johnson and a lot of us here at Woodward Sport Network and Lady Jane's Haircuts, will be giving away shoes, clothes, clothing, haircuts, all for families and children that are underprivileged and in need tonight. So if you know of a family or a child in need, go to wickedawesomewishes.org. Tracy Walker, Malcolm Rodriguez, Will Harris, Sean Elliott, and many more. We will see you tonight. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week, 10 to 8. It's wicked awesome.
It's back. Year 3 of Woodward Sports Stuff a Studio is here. The past 2 years, we've collected new unwrapped toys and stuffed our studio so we could hardly fit in it. This year, we're doing it even bigger. Join Woodward Sports and our whole family December 19th to the 23rd as we stuff our studio. While you're out shopping or just sitting on your couch ordering presents, make sure you grab one extra and drop it off at our studio, 15 Mile in Woodward in Birmingham. We'll be collecting toys around the clock to make sure every child in Mott's Children's Hospital feels the warmth of the holiday season. It's the time of year to do for others. Help us stuff our studio. Special thanks to all the wonderful elves at Meyer and Guardian Alarm for keeping the toys safe. Stuff a Studio 2022 with Woodward Sports.
The Sports Marketing Agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Time to talk about Phillips. No, not former CIA employee Rufus Colfax Phillips, but Michael Phillips, of course. Looking to buy or sell your home, whether you're a player or a fan, helping you buy, sell, or invest is Michael Phillips' top priority. Being in the game for 23 years makes Mike the #1 option for anyone. If you have real estate needs, call Michael Phillips at 313-403-0011. That is 313-403-0011.
Rufus.
Pulling up on the second hour of the show. You don't see any Rufuses anymore.
Rufus, I think of George Carlin and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures.
I was going to say, he's got to be at least, from like the 50s if his name's Rufus.
At a minimum.
Yeah.
At a minimum. Neal, Ruhl, Darren, McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter back with you. Yeah, you don't see very many more Rufuses around anymore, but you do see a lot of Nickle packages.
You do.
That's what we're jumping into. Let's go. Drop that beat.
All right, first question of the NFL Nickle package.
5 questions, 5 downs about the NFL and college.
About the NFL. First one, very first one, is Jalen Hurts is going to miss some time. They don't know how long it's going to be, but he's probably not going to play this week, maybe not the week after. If Jalen Hurts has to miss time, will he lose out on winning the MVP?
Yup. 100% he will, because in the meantime, you know who is going to be playing? Patrick Mahomes will be playing. And you know what he'll be doing while he plays? Racking up numbers. And it'll be to the
Better
point.
be this week, too. We need this
Absolutely. We need you, Patty Mahomes, at home. We need you. Decimate Seattle. Do us a favor. Go ahead and do that. But, yes, he will, because the numbers will be too big to ignore. And the bottom line is this. If your definition of the MVP is the best player in the league, then Patrick Mahomes should win this award for the last 2 years, the next 5 years, in perpetuity. So yes, because the numbers can't lag, and if you miss time, they're going to lag.
Well, I couldn't agree with you more to that fact. What have you done for me lately? It's a quarterback award, and Mahomes is always the front runner until he's not. Right? This would be more of a question. I think if Patrick Mahomes was hurt, would he slack down? He wouldn't lose as much ground as what Jalen Hurts is going to lose to Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, it's just the numbers are going to be too damning when it's all said and done.
Yeah, I agree.
Second down?
Second down. Next question. Has Nick Bosa started to run away with Defensive Player of the Year?
Anybody that and I specifically watched him on Thursday night. Specifically. He was the only guy I watched for, I would say, 60% of the plays. This dude, man.
He's a game record.
Dude, I'm with Sam Flannel, and he kind of converted me on this. And Sam, you say it all that he's the best player in football.
Yeah, right now, I would say that he is. He's the most dominant player at one of the most important positions, and I say that the gap between him and number 2 as an edge rusher
is Connor McDavid-esque.
It really is, and now the numbers really played out this year. He leads the NFL in sacks, and he's playing on the best defense. He's the most important player on the best defense in the NFL. There's nothing more you can say about Nick Bosa except start fitting him for his gold jacket right now.
I still can't believe
Sam Flannel's the Rob Deere, Big D energy. I mean, it's strikeouts or it's home runs, and he is a whole. You nailed. This is your opposite of your Ben Wallace, Scott Frost, love at the beginning of the year, because he's everything. And like you said, Neal, is that I'll admit it too, that I pay more attention when Sam, because I'm looking to always discredit Sam, right?
Yeah.
Ever since he,
ever since he showed up
came
here.
at me,
right?
So I'm always looking to call it, but I can't discredit him when he calls it the way it is. And if you have a chance to watch Nick Bosa, you will see what we're talking about if you specifically watch him. And the Connor McDavid-esque, where you're saying that the difference between him and Leon Draisaitl or Nathan McKinnon, whoever you say is the second best player in the league, there is room.
He's explosive, dude.
So with him, it's just availability.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Chuck Brewer saw a headline. Rodgers was crapping on Detroit in his postgame comments last night. We will get to it a little bit later on in the show. But Lane Hartman says Bosa's so gnarly. Gnarly's a good word.
Gnarly, I like that word.
He explodes off the ball.
Yeah. He's such a chill dude, too. Have you ever heard his interviews? He's really funny.
Fort Lauderdale, too, by the way.
Yeah,
James Houston from Fort Lauderdale, by the way.
Oh, is that they just make edge rushers down there?
They make everything.
Lamar Jackson.
They make football players in Florida.
Like in that, and there's like a 3 mile by 3 mile square there where it's like the Bosa brothers, James Houston, Lamar Jackson. Like it's stupid
Antonio
down there.
Brown.
It's stupid. All right, third down.
And I just want to say, I still remember when he had 16 pressures in a single game. That is just a ridiculous number. But next question, nickel package question. Was the Patriots-Raiders ending this week the dumbest play you've ever seen?
100%. And here's why. And no one's asked this question. If I were in the media post-game there, I would have asked the player, you didn't know that the game was tied, did you? You thought you were losing the game. It's the only explanation I can have for that.
Only explanation that makes sense.
And I have a two-part attack. If you'll give me the floor for a second here on this one,
D-Mac.
D-Mac.
Because
take
my
it to
answer is and especially that's like if something catastrophic happened and Scotty Bowman was behind the bench, because it happened under Bill Belichick's watch. Which this happening means to me that there's something bigger going on there. To your point, please, the floor is yours.
So yes, it was the dumbest play I've ever seen. I was convinced that he thought they were losing the football game. That's the only explanation. How about this, too? Hey, Matt Patricia, either throw it into the end zone or take a knee and go to overtime, by the way. Yeah. You set all this up. You put the wheels in motion for all this because you're bad at your job, okay? We've seen it here. We know intimately how bad you are at your job. But this narrative of... and you see this a lot, like at the end of halves, teams will have the ball on their own 15-yard line with like 12 seconds to go, and they run a draw player. Why are you putting yourself at risk? What good comes from that? Yeah. What good comes from that? Only bad can happen. It's dumb, and I see coaches do this stuff all the time. But hey, that's Matt Patricia, and that just goes to show you too how good Bill Belichick is, because he can have Matt Patricia on his staff, and they're still probably going to get in the playoffs. They're going to overcome the fact that Matt Patricia's there.
And Joe Judge.
Yeah. So you know what? Just further evidence, Matt Patricia can piss off, and you're bad at what you do, and that's another example of it. Let's move on.
Yeah, Stingray Steve was in the studio yesterday, and me and Easy were grilling him on it, and he was like, it's just so many unpatriot-like things happening this year that he couldn't believe it. He's like, thanks for reminding me, asshole. Yeah, I mean, that was a tough.
Hey, you remember how they said they sent Patricia here to implode our organization? Well, whatever stank that he brought it back there,
and now
he's infesting them too. So
that's
couldn't
Matt
happen
Patricia.
to a better team.
Yeah, a better person.
All right, next question of the nickel package. Who would do more damage in the playoffs in the NFC? The Seattle Seahawks or the Detroit Lions?
If you'd have asked me this question before Tom Kennedy's departure, I would have said definitely the Detroit Lions.
That's fair.
No, I'm kidding. I mean, obviously it's the Lions, right? Because there's something to say about coming in hot.
Yeah.
And we've seen this before. We saw this with the Giants. They rode this ish to a Super Bowl one time.
The Packers did the same thing. Yeah.
Right. You know what I'm saying? It's not. Look, I am around coaches a lot, and I love the phrase, it's not who you play, it's when you play them. And you know this. You know this intimately. You're a professional athlete. Like, there is something to say about the team that's coming in hot, and the offense and how dangerous they can be and stuff like that. It's just go off the feel factor.
Just for logistically,
go off the field. How do you feel about Seattle right now, and how do you feel about Detroit?
Well, yeah, and you take whatever injuries or whatever into effect. But here's the one thing: you don't want to play Detroit. Why? Because to get into the playoffs, they'd have to win 9 out of 10. Right? They're humming at the right time. Only escalate and stuff like this. The way that they play, Neal, here's the one thing. You don't want to play. Seattle doesn't play, and I know that, they were known as Legion of Boom, and Kenneth Walker runs hard and stuff like this, but Detroit is known as a physical team. All over the field, right? And teams don't really, do you want to go for a 60-minute punch in the face contest? Because what did they prove last weekend? Is that they can stay in the fight for 60 minutes and not have their best and still make it tough and win the game, right? Nobody wants to play that.
And the Lions have avoided travesty. And re-signed Tom Kennedy to the practice
breaking
squad.
News, the Detroit Lions just tweeted 4 minutes ago, obviously watching the show from their Allen Park offices, the Detroit Lions have re-signed wide receiver Tom Kennedy to the practice squad.
Thank
goodness. To the practice squad. Keywords. Don't leave that out. he might not be on the active roster the rest of the season. He shouldn't be. They're
but
5 deep at wide
receivers. But he still has a chance of catching the game-winning Super Bowl touchdown.
Our friends at Detroit Sports Podcast, he cleared waivers and returned to the Lions practice squad. So
I mean, they're already 5 deep at wide receiver without him. So if someone goes down, he might be nice to have in the chamber, but that's it. Other than
it's
that,
all coming together.
He's staying in the practice.
TK85 Latin script 248.
Lions are putting up 45 against the Carolina Panthers, confirmed. But final question
5th down.
of the nickel package. There are more NFL games this Saturday like they were and last week. They had 3 electric games in back to back to back on Saturday. Should the NFL replace Thursday night game with a Saturday night game?
Not if they want me to watch, because I'm watching college football on Saturdays.
They can't do it during college. I think right now they should flex it into maybe the last couple weeks once the college playoffs are done. I think you could get into Saturday games even more, but I think that, to Neal's point, no. Saturday's college day, and I don't think you want to impede that. I think as the schedule in the college games to like the bowl seasons where you can fit them in, yeah, you're going to have electric games, or maybe you see more games flex to that way. And also, too, here's the one thing you'll see more because they have that extra week.
Right. And here's what you will see this, though, and D-Mac, to kind of piggyback on your point, you will see this once college is over. You'll see them start to stack those games on Saturday, and here's why. The NFL Red Zone package is going up for bid as well. And, with the Sunday ticket and the Red Zone and all that kind of stuff. So if you were able to squeeze 2 days out of that, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Where you can squeeze out 2 days of Red Zone, Sunday ticket, which happens to be going to market as well, and Amazon seems to be a front runner to acquire the rights to the Sunday ticket for billions of dollars.
Neal, wouldn't you would be accepting of this as a college and NFL fan if it didn't manipulate your college?
Once the Army-Navy game's over.
We're going to put it here, and we got a spot here, and we can throw it over here.
Once the Army-Navy game's over, then you can do whatever you want.
And
that's the Tom Kennedy of the...
of football.
Chili Damon is a great point in the Woodward Sports Chat, bringing back Tom Kennedy, putting him on the practice squad. They're just saving him for the playoffs.
Absolutely.
Making sure his body's right.
You don't want to subject him to the wear and tear. But keep an eye on that, by the way. Amazon, the front runner, to get the rights to the Sunday ticket. Billions of dollars per year with a B. It's to the point...
Red Zone's better anyways.
Well, yeah, that's part of the Sunday ticket pack. But I'm with you on that. Yeah. It's to the point where they won't even be able to price it enough to make it profitable. They can't.
Yeah,
They can't.
That sucks.
Yeah, so just be ready, everybody. Be ready. Be ready for that. Be ready to drink Cintron. It's the official energy drink of the Red Wings.
All right.
You know what? Why wait? They've combined all 3 of their delicious flavors into one Red Wings themed packaging, exclusively served at Little Caesars Arena, by the way. My son had one Friday night when we were at the Pistons game. He said, ha-ha, and walked over to there and said, okay, and he had a Cintron.
Did he drink it warm?
What's that?
Did he drink it warm?
No, it was in the cooler.
Okay.
He did have to decide between the Cranberry Classic and the Sugar Free, which are all in one Red Wings themed package, as you see there. You want one? Go to CintronWorld.com/Red Wings. Again, CintronWorld.com/Red Wings. Get energized with Cintron, and let's go Red Wings.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
What's a winter wonderland if you can't shop, eat, and play? Lucky for you, you can do it all at the downtown Detroit markets, Cadillac Lodge, and the new winter version of the Monroe Street Midway, all located just across the street from Campus Martius Park. Find the fun at deckedoutdetroit.com.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
Neal Ruhl here for Custom Health Centers, where you can get your customized approach to weight loss. You see what they've done for Ryan Ermanni. How about that, D-Mac? He's shredded and everything now.
Shredded for Christmas.
Obviously, we're just kidding, but he is down over 15 pounds. He began his Custom Health Center journey, and it's working out great for him, and it can work out great for you as well. It's been their honor to help many professional athletes lose weight. So it's not just TV stars like Ryan Ermanni. It's also former Lions kicker Eddie Murray, Pistons bad boy Rick Mahorn, over 20,000 success stories. Ryan Ermanni is going to be the next one. And you can start losing weight today. Call Dr. Joesph and Custom Health at 844-789-8446. That's 844-789-THIN Custom Health Centers. Neal Ruhl here for the Monroe Street Midway, and you guys, we're getting down to the crunch time here. If you want to slide through there all the way up until this weekend, the star of the show, we're just going to cut to the chase. You guys know the bumper cars, the Arctic slide, the puck putt, all that stuff. But now it's S's Claus time to shine. He'll be there through December 22nd, which today is December 20th. So do the math real quick. He'll be out there from 4 to 8 this week. It's the last week to go see Santa Claus because, you know, he's got to put in that work this weekend coming up. So get on out there. Guys, it's like it's great. It's absolutely phenomenal down there. It's a real downtown atmosphere, winter festival, everything. You guys know what it is. We've been talking about for a long time. So make yourself seen down there at the Monroe Street Midway in downtown Detroit. Back and poppin', Big D Energy. Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter. We covered the NFL. Now let's take a spin to the college nickel package. It's Sam Flannel's time to shine.
Yes, great time of the day. All right, question number 1, first down. This is a college football playoff edition, kind of miscellaneous college football questions involving college football playoff teams. Question number 1, right here, right now, is Kirby Smart the best coach in college football?
You're conditioned to say no, it's Nick Saban, right? But here's the attachment to it. Here's where it's different with the NFL. Yes, he is. Why? Because he's got the best players. And how is he getting the best players? And if you don't believe me, look at the NFL draft last year. Look at what they did to your Michigan Wolverines. Look at what they're probably going to do to everybody again. So is he the best coach? Like if I were, if everyone had the same players on both sides, would I want him to be my coach? No, I'd probably think about 15 or 20 other ones. But he's got the best athletes.
No, he definitely does. So, and when you're number one, right, and the way that it's been, and it hasn't. Here's why you could say he's a great coach, not just with the best talent, because they ebbed and flowed this year, right? They didn't fall off the perch, but there was some chink in the armor, right? But I think that halfway through the season, he got that Georgia ship back online, and they're the odds-on favorite and the number one for a reason going into the college playoffs.
Ricky McQuaid, WoodwardSports.com chat thread, Sam says no, it's Jim Harbaugh.
I mean, Jim Harbaugh is probably top 4 right now, but he needs to get a national championship before you can put him in those waters. I would agree with you guys about Kerby Joesph. Recruiting is part of it, and
it's all of it.
It's all of it. They won one last year, and they're favorites to go back-to-back again. So right here, right now, I would agree that it is Kerby Joesph. Second down. Okay. Which wide receiver would you rather have on your team if you were running a college football team? TCU's Quentin Johnson or Ohio State's Marvin Harrison Jr.?
It's funny because, again, the instinct answer is that's Marvin Harrison Jr. There's no doubt about that. It's closer. I would still lean Marvin Harrison Jr., but it is closer to me with Quentin Johnson because I do get Calvin vibes from Quentin Johnson.
You know what a freak.
Yeah, like the size, man. You can't teach that. And a lot of Michigan fans don't know because they haven't watched TCU, but you're going to see Quentin Johnson in a couple days. You're going to see him.
Will Johnson, get ready.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're going to feel him a couple of times because they will take shots. And you will see the size of this man. It's closer than people think it is.
Well, I think that's a comparison is closer than you think because haven't had a chance. I've watched more Ohio State and Marvin Harrison Jr. and the fact of just that somebody, the other guy's getting, like, they compare Harrison Jr. to his dad, which is a huge comparison because that's a Hall of Famer. And then you're also comparing Quentin to Calvin Johnson, which is another Hall of Famer too. So closer than you think, but I take Harrison Jr. just because of I know what I'm getting.
Right. You will see though. You will see what he brings to the party. We gonna see, absolutely.
Definitely probably the two most gifted and most like physically talented wide receivers in college football. And hey, we're gonna see them a lot in the college football playoff. All right, third down. Of all of the starting quarterbacks playing in the college football playoff this year, which one would you most want on your team?
As far as what do you mean? Like for college or for pro?
Just if you're like running a college football team, which one do you want? Which one's the best?
This will probably be weird to hear, and I know he's in New York and everybody flipped out about it. But for what Georgia has going on, Stetson Bennett is like the best fit for what Georgia has going on. For what Georgia has going, you know how I know Sam Flannel?
How?
Because he won last year.
Because he's done it.
He won last year.
He's in New York.
Because he's done it. He's been there.
He's in New
York.
Hey,
He's been on that stage. He's been thrown in there as not supposed to have him to do it. So if anybody knows what he's walking into, because he's been there and he's succeeded.
Right.
So how could you not take the guy with the pedigree?
Right. You know what I'm saying? And it is that. And to go all Jabril Peppers on you, he's a Heisman finalist. He's on the stage. Yeah. So obviously he's pretty good. Those are your talking points, right,
You
Sam
guys
Flannel?
are smoking some of the good stuff. I'm sure you got into DMAC stats.
Of course
If you want Stetson,
if
your answer is Stetson Bennett over a guy in C.J. Stroud who's going to be a top 5 pick, over a fellow.
I was told C.J. Stroud stinks.
No.
Wasn't I told that for an entire week about 3-4 weeks ago?
Yeah. There is not a single person that thinks that Stetson Bennett is better than C.J. Stroud. That's a straw, man. Come on. J.J. McCarthy had just as many touchdown passes as Stetson Bennett this year. And
I was told that J.J. McCarthy is a generational Michigan quarterback.
And I was told in the middle of the season that J.J. McCarthy was mid, but they're both undefeated, Georgia and Michigan, and J.J. McCarthy has just as many touchdown passes as Stetson Bennett. Stetson Bennett's in New York, and you want him on your team, and J.J. McCarthy's just mid. That's
right. Same New York. JJ's mid. You might get the matchup that you're wishing for.
Hey, that's actually
Clomp Sauce, WoodwardSports.com chat thread. I am that straw man that Sam Flannel speaks of. Steve Lehman, Stroud is a bust. A-Diz 411, Ohio State QBs usually suck in the draft, except for Justin Fields.
That's true. Justin Fields is breaking the mold, and we all can see it. All right. Fourth down. This is an interesting one. As a football figure, we're talking about everything he's done at the school. Is Jim Harbaugh right here and right now the greatest football figure in the history of Michigan?
He's 50 times bigger than Bo Schembechler.
Well, he's
50 times.
I would agree with that.
100 times.
Well, it's also because Jim Harbaugh is the greatest quarterback in school history. He was third in the Heisman in 1986, and he was their only first-round draft pick as a quarterback. And he won 2 Big Ten championships as a coach.
You know what's weird about that? That does get lost in the sauce sometimes, I think, with Jim Harbaugh.
Yes.
That he was a very, very good college football player. Yeah, I mean, very good. First-round draft pick.
Good enough to be third in the Heisman and be a first-round draft pick. And no other Michigan quarterback can say that. I think Rick Leach was third in the Heisman one year, but he doesn't count. But yeah, Jim Harbaugh, no, it's true. He was an option quarterback. But yeah, Jim Harbaugh he has the chance to be the greatest quarterback in school history. And if they win the national championship this year, I'm already calling him the greatest coach in school history. So
you know what?
You never see that.
He's up there. There's no doubt about it. Yep. And you know what the kicker is for me? He never fired Ernie Harwell. So, Bo Schembechler did.
Point taken, but no, obviously with the name, and to me, he puts them over the edge when he wins the national championship.
Yeah, but
he's got the pedigree of being there. I mean, it's almost like look at Steve Eisman. What he's trying to accomplish.
That's a good
player.
Yeah.
As a GM.
And you know what else? He surpassed Bo Schembechler's entire body of work in like 7 years. His entire body of like a threat to win national championships, like a legit threat. You know what I'm saying?
Realistically, in like 2 years.
I mean, I'm not gonna speak as lowly of Bo Schembechler as you guys.
Why? Because you don't like math?
No, I still think Bo Schembechler is a great coach, but
2-8 in the Rose Bowl, bro.
That's
no one will ever match that because they'll be fired before they go 2-8 in the Rose Bowl.
That's very fair. But he also won a lot of Big Ten championships because of that. He's a Michigan great coach. Can we agree on that? A Michigan great coach.
Like he's Tigers good, like Brandon Inge was, right?
Bo Schembechler is better than Brandon Inge.
Is he?
Come on, yes.
Brandon Inge went to the All-Star game.
He went to a home run derby.
He was in a home run derby.
Hey,
All-Star weekend.
But Bo Schembechler won 2 Rose Bowls and a lot of Big Tens.
Out of 10 that he was in.
Also won in Columbus 5 times.
Brandon Inge won a pennant.
He did. Yeah. Played in a World Series, right?
Yeah.
No, I think the moral of the story is Jim Harbaugh. People forget just how much of a Michigan legend he already is and how high his stock could go up if they continue to win Big Ten championships, if they win a natty.
Real quick.
Statue. Statue's going up sooner than later there, final.
That's for sure.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread, LFG, go Neal. That's the truth about Bo Schembechler. I'm just telling you what, again, there is no opinion given. It's just facts that happened about him. Jose De La Ola, Flannel's been throwing around the Hall of Fame statues all day. What happened?
The legend Razor.
Hey. I don't look to kill him. I just call it like I see it. You know? All right, fifth down. Last question of the day. So, which star in the college football playoff will be drafted higher? Georgia defensive tackle Jalen Carter or Ohio State quarterback C.J. Stroud?
Depends if Neal Ruhl's picking.
Hey.
Jalen Carter.
Yeah. If Neal Ruhl's picking, it's Jalen Carter. Although I do...
which, by the way, shout out to the friggin' Denver Broncos for a big win.
Yeah.
Big win yesterday.
Yes,
the
sir.
Rams lost, and we'll get into that stuff, right?
Go.
I'm hoping... If you're a Lions fan, you got to hope somebody ahead of you takes Stroud.
Yeah, well, but that's the thing, though. Remember, Seattle's got Denver's pick, and they need a quarterback. And I'm looking at the Tankathon mock right now.
Yeah, but aren't we... We're in a good spot, but they need that quarterback, but doesn't Houston need one?
They got Houston taking Bryce Young, Chicago taking Will Anderson, and then Seattle taking C.J. Stroud.
Let's go. For real?
Yeah, that's what the Tankathon mock has right now.
My God,
and that's very realistic, man.
But you don't mind that, right? Because then that drops your guy right to your lap.
Love it. And he's, you know what?
I hope it's Stroud.
And look, Aleem McNeil's good, right? He's good. Very good. You put Jalen, like that,
think
whole
about
front
those
is
two
complete.
together.
Yeah, the whole front's complete. Like and you're done for 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Or 4 years. Like you get Jalen Carter on this football team, your front four, you're hand washed, they're signed on rookie deals. Let's ride.
Yep.
God, that's getting me excited thinking about it.
I broke it down yesterday, like with what this defensive line already is, with Aleem McNeil, with Houston, with Pascal, with Kaminsky, obviously Hutchinson, Romeo Okwara back, Julian Okwara. You throw Jalen Carter into that? Man,
that's stupid.
That is stupid.
That's
a unit.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Go Blue. Michigan in the playoffs again. This mofo still with the tone. What? What? What was it? What was I complimentary? Was I complimentary about Jim Harbaugh?
You were more complimentary of Jim Harbaugh than a lot of Michigan fans, honestly.
Yeah.
So I'm going to defend Neal on this one. Although I think you discredit Bo as a coach a little bit. He's a Michigan great coach. Can we agree on that?
All I know is he was
great.
The Rose Bowl was the thing, right?
He believes he deserves to get knocked for that.
And he was 2-8, and he won no national titles.
Yeah, so he's in
over 20 years.
In the chat thread saying, and that's when they was considered the big two in the little late. So that doesn't even.
And you know what? Even backing off of that, Go Blue. What about that is not factually correct?
It is factually correct.
So what does it matter who says it?
I mean, it's also factually correct that he won 5 times in Columbus. That's why he's a Michigan great coach.
Okay.
Maybe not like a national all-time great coach.
You know, like his main rival won national titles during that run, right?
Woody Hayes won 5.
Yeah.
That's
5?
fair. Yes.
National titles?
Yes.
Woody Hayes won 5.
You see what I'm saying? Like this Bo Schembechler thing, it's all lore. Because when you get down to the meat and potatoes of it,
he's not great.
It's mid. He's mid.
And of course, there's some spoiled meat and potatoes in there. But
you know, what Andy fired Ernie Harbaugh.
That is a big one.
Tell him what's not mid, though, Spenny.
What's not mid?
The absolute opposite of mid.
The absolute opposite of mid is Cousins' Maine lobster. Because I'm telling you, this stuff is chronic. This stuff is where you get it. Cousins Maine Lobster brings the best of the Maine coast to Detroit. Try their variety of sweet, succulent Maine lobster menu items and their 2 food trucks rolling around the city. You can find their events scheduled on cousinsmainelobster.com through their mobile app, where you can easily order ahead and earn rewards, or you can just scan that QR code right there.
Right now.
And figure out where they are in the streets. So make sure you get some of that Cousins Maine Lobster, because I'm telling you, it is the
They're in Romeo?
They're in Romeo right now. D-Mac
11
just
to
did
6, North Main, at the Shell gas station.
Let's go!
Let's go!
Cousins Maine Lobster.
Cousins Maine Lobster. Check it out.
It's back. Year 3 of Woodward Sports Stuff-A Studio is here. The past 2 years, we've collected new unwrapped toys and stuffed our studio so we could hardly fit in it. This year, we're doing it even bigger. Join Woodward Sports and our whole family December 19th to the 23rd as we stuff our studio. While you're out shopping or just sitting on your couch ordering presents, make sure you grab one extra and drop it off at our studio, 15 Mile in Woodward and Birmingham. We'll be collecting toys around the clock to make sure every child in Mott's Children's Hospital feels the warmth of the holiday season. It's the time of year to do for others. Help us stuff our studio. Special thanks to all the wonderful elves at Meyer and Guardian Alarm for keeping the toys safe. Stuff-A Studio 2022 with Woodward Sports.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy, better sleep, blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
Out. Stay out.
Oh, I'm sorry, Guardian Alarm. Sorry, I got caught up in the whole golf thing. Anyways, you know, Guardian Alarm, they're keeping you safe. I was just checking in with Jason and all that, all the stuff for studio. If you had fun doing it with us at Myers, you can do it all this week. Anyways, Guardian Alarm, you want to be part of the Guardian Alarm family, keep your stuff protected? Well, you can. So give them a call, 1-800.
Stay out.
That's 1-800.
Stay out.
Guardian Alarm, been protecting the flannel how many straight days?
180.
180 straight days. Neal, you know what that means? We're almost halfway.
Almost halfway home.
Almost halfway home, Sam Flannel. Anyways, if you want the protection, the Guardian Alarm, give Slam Flannel. Give him a call today, 1-800.
Stay out. Stay out of the end zone, Quentin Johnson.
Stay out of the backfield, Brian Burns.
Absolutely. Guardian Alarm, local security experts. Give him a call today. Tell him Big D Energy, we sent you.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter. Funny to see we have the televisions on in the studio, and the Lakers fall to 13-17. Data Davis expected to miss multiple weeks with a foot injury. But like 4 days ago, they're like, Lakers are back. What trade should they make?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anthony Davis, MVP candidate.
Yeah, good luck with Data Davis. He did what he did. And in the meantime, Jokic is putting up 40 points, 27 rebounds, and 10 assists.
Yeah.
You know, just the usual business as usual. WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Pete Smith, Neal, don't besmirch Charles Brandon Inge. He hit 0 home runs in the home run derby.
It's true.
He did, as a matter of fact. Honolulu Blue Sparty. Does Sam Flannel want to try to legend kill Ernie Harwell? Step up to the mic, Sam Flannel.
No,
by all means.
No, I'm not gonna legend kill I'm not going to let you kill Ernie Harbaugh. He was a great announcer. He was a part of all Tiger fans' day-to-day lives for many, many years. And when you have a great announcer like that, he really does become like a part of your family, especially back in the day when you listened to it on the radio. All love for Ernie Harbaugh.
You better give all love. Hey, you want to see if I can break that glass with a fist is besmirch that man.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not. That is, I think that's one person that we can all agree with.
MW says...
Except for Bo Schembechler, right?
MW says Bo is less than Lloyd Carr. Is that true? I don't know Michigan lore that well.
I would agree with that. Because he cashed one in, man.
Yep.
He cashed one in.
Oh, I right now, right? Yeah, is... What do you say? Is Carr above Harbaugh?
Is Carr above Harbaugh?
Yeah, he can. If he's got a championship, yeah.
Yeah, but
they're right here, right?
Yeah.
You're right now. It's Jim Harbaugh's going. Okay, hey Lloyd, you know what? It was nice. It took me a little bit longer than maybe everybody thought it might have taken, but now I'm ascending. We can agree with that. It's sort of like.
The problem for Jim, though, is you're running in this golden age of SEC football right now.
But eyeball test to whatever. So in saying that and competing and being there as the consistency, going back to back Big Ten championship in this, because it's deeper as you're getting into the playoff pool, that you could say that if you wanted to say right now it's Lloyd Carr, but it's sort of neck and neck, that Jim Harbaugh is eventually going to surpass him no matter what. Because he's getting better and better and better. Don't you expect to continue to stay here as a top?
He's going to have to cash one in, though, because if you continue to lose when it's on the line.
No. So what you're saying is that is it the national championship that?
It's got to be. It's got to be.
Okay.
You got to go get one, man. You got to find a way.
So to your argument about it's in this age doesn't play into account that if he's there every year, if he's consistently winning the Big Ten and getting to the finals and stuff.
Okay, well then I would say what's everybody's view of Oregon?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
what's your view of Oregon?
They haven't cashed one in. And that's the thing. I know that Chip Kelly was kind of an innovator, and they've always been one of that programs that was close, kind of dominant in the Pac-10 and 12 at times, but they haven't cashed one in.
And how does that shape your perception of them?
As not a high-level program, as that next level, that second tier,
right.
along with
that's the glass ceiling you got to bust.
Yeah.
And that's not being a hater, everybody.
No.
That's just how the real world works.
I mean, Lloyd Carr cashed one in. That's the thing. But Jim Harbaugh, I mean, what if
he cashed in a half of one?
Hey, but it wasn't through any fault of his. They went undefeated. They won the Rose Bowl.
No doubt. Hey, yeah. And you know what? Yes, that was tone.
That was absolutely.
That was absolutely
like Ethan Brown, T-Foss would say. Oregon is a nice little team.
They're a fine program.
Fine program.
They've had some fine coaches. But again, that's the problem for Harbaugh is you're running. Like, look at the SEC. And, we're not here to recycle that old argument. It's just, look at how many different teams have won a national title from the SEC.
It just means more.
Well, obviously it does, because, I mean, look, Florida, Auburn, Georgia,
LSU,
Alabama, LSU, they've all won them.
Yep. Michigan has not since 1997. But hey, Michigan, this is your chance, Jim Harbaugh. This is a year where I think they could win it, and then next year they have a lot of key players coming back, like Donovan Edwards, J.J. McCarthy, Will Johnson, Mike Sanders still. So this is the golden age. They just have to cash one in.
You don't think Mike Sanders still goes into the draft?
I believe it was confirmed that he's coming back. I want to say, but Colston Loveland's another one, by the way. I think they have a very, very good chance. I think they're going to win the Big Ten again next year. So Jim Harbaugh, his ceiling for his legacy at Michigan is still pretty infinite, and he's already the best figure in Michigan history.
Yeah, that I would agree with.
Yep.
You're spot on with that. Pete also says WoodwardSports.com chat thread. I bet Guardian Alarm wins more than 2 Rose Bowls in 10 tries. I'm sure they do.
100%.
I'm sure they do. So anyway, and people brought this up where if you look at Aaron Rodgers and that game last night, that was a big result for the Detroit Lions, obviously, because it's another loss for the LA Rams. And Everyone's on one right now. Ben at WMC, Michigan football is historically subpar in reality and historic in their own minds. And that's, you know what, we can push that easy button later. So that's different. I do want to talk about Aaron Rodgers, though.
Oh, we have to, because you know what? If you were on the fence or whatever and his schwarm, didn't really make you lean one way or the other, if this is the reason or not to want to punch this guy in the face. But the beauty is, Neal, this is the beauty. As an athlete, say that stuff because I get to play you. And I will remember that, even though it's the last game of the year and I got to worry about Carolina and stuff like this. But guess what there, Iowasa? You know what? We're coming. We're coming hard. You know what? Hey, James Houston, he don't think anything of you. He think you ain't going to do it, and especially the Lions. You don't think that's black? This is billboard material.
Right. And we can't play it because it's property of ESPN, but you guys know what we're talking about.
He's such a smug little bitch.
Yeah. The comment of, you're facing good teams coming down the stretch. You got to win them all and get some help. And three teams that are above 500. He's like, well, no, one of those teams, they're 500. They just got back to 500.
Yeah.
That was his line. And you know what? We've been talking a lot about Michigan. I'm going to go the anti-Michigan route here. You know how I wanted them destroyed? At every second. You guys know this, right? With me and Aaron Rodgers, yeah. I want them destroyed. I want the franchise buried. I want it finished. You know what? I've done a 180 on that now. I want them to win out. And I want the Lions to win out. And I want it all to be on the line in Lambeau in that game, last game of the season.
That would be cool.
I want all the smoke. To whereas like a Michigan fan would prefer, they would want the Packers to lose somewhere down the road. I want that. I want to go right at them.
That was unnecessary. That was out of left field.
You know how you didn't want Alabama in the playoff?
I never said that.
No, I'm kidding, Sam Flannel. I was just taking a shot at you. No, I do. I want the Packers. I want Aaron Rodgers.
Absolutely. I want it to come down to us being 9-7, having to win that game, having to shove it in his face for everything he's done. And we're gonna get that wish. Oh, gosh darn it. Could you imagine?
James Houston rip his
this
head
crossed
off.
my mind last night. Could you imagine if the Lions, and obviously it comes down to it, but that last game of the year, and we know it's going to be played, but if there's an outside chance Michigan and Ohio State could play for the national championship, wowee.
Well, there's also a great chance that you can go to Big Boy and enjoy the comfort foods because wintertime's always better with the comfort foods at Big Boy. Try the classic meatloaf, right, Spenny?
Loaf.
Yeah, give him that loaf. Cajun chicken Alfredo as well. How about breakfast? The stuffed potato pancakes are back. The lumberjack, the Santa Fe Garden, or the Blockbuster as well. Stop by your local Big Boy today.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
When it comes to making your haircut truly an experience, there's no better place than Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to any one of our 26 Metro Detroit locations for an award-winning haircut experience and qualify for a chance to win a down payment for your dream home up to $200,000. Our precision haircut and talented stylists will have you looking good, feeling good, and give you a chance to change your life forever. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Jeff Okuda and Wicked Awesome Wishes present Hope for the Holidays. Jeff Okuda gives his financial support, time, and love for the city of Detroit with Chad Johnson and his amazing foundation, Wicked Awesome Wishes. Together, Jeff and Chad have been game planning all year long to make this Christmas one to remember for underprivileged children and their families. Special thanks to Lions players Amon-Ra St. Brown, Tracy Walker, Will Harris, and more, along with Lions alumni Lomas Brown and Joyak Bell. And the awesome people at Lighthouse Coolidge Community Building in Oak Park. Together, we'll make sure every child has new shoes, warm coats, hats, and socks, plus free haircuts to help everyone feel their best. And don't forget Woodward Sports' Braylon Edwards, Ryan Ermanni, and Darren McCarty will be there too. Hope for the holidays from Jeff Akuta and wicked awesome wishes.
Neal Ruhl here for Chili Peppers Tanning. We find the cleanest salons in the D, spotless sanitized rooms, and trained and certified tanning professionals. They know what they're doing there. Join the Pepper Club. Get all the best deals. They'll beat competitors' prices by at least $5, and you can pick up the Australian Gold, Designer Skin, Cal Tan, and Spencer Raxter's favorite, the Swedish Beauty Lotions. Oh, yeah. ChiliPeppersTanning.com. The hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest tans. They are your vitamin D headquarters. See, like there's this big yellow disc in the sky out there today. It ain't there all the time. So if you want vitamin D, Chili Peppers Tanning is the option. 27 locations and more on the way. Chili Peppers Tanning, y'all.
Chili Peppers Tanning.
Oh, we're talking about the sun. That's like a UFO, too.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. God says, Neal, we don't want that. Pete Smith says, what if they have to go to Green Bay to win to get in the playoffs? We've seen that game before. Hey, I want that smoke, man.
Hey, you know what? Brandon Katz, obviously, he brought up a great question, right? Or he brought up a comment that he thought, but it's a question, I think. Rodgers being 39, the money that they pay him and stuff, they're eliminated from the playoffs. Do they sit him that game? Or because it's the Lions or because of whatever else, do they play? But is there a chance that because they're eliminated from the playoffs, you don't see?
Well, he's a dick, so he'll do whatever he wants to do.
We're talking about Aaron Rodgers, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Since he's a dick, no one knows. Maybe he'll play, maybe he won't. Maybe he'll show up dressed as Nick Cage from Con Air. Maybe he won't. Maybe he'll go on a peyote trail over the offseason. Maybe he won't. Maybe he'll wash his hair. Maybe he won't. He probably won't. It'll still be all greasy.
Sam Flannel will find themselves. In
so what you're saying is maybe you're right, Brandon. Maybe you're not, right?
Yeah. Who knows? I want that. I want to put him down.
I guarantee also, right, the Aiden Hutchinsons, the James Houston, they want that.
I want that. And look, we're seeing a lot of trepidation in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread right now. And I see Spenny putting the poll up there right now. Do you want that smoke? Do you want the Green Bay Packers smoke? Do you want it? Because I do.
I mean, the big question for you, though, Neal, is Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, they have to go to Miami next week and play. Do you want Tua to lose next week? Would you sacrifice that for the Packers?
Yeah, because he'll still, his winning percentage will still be 70%.
Hey, but he'll be 8-7, and it might knock them out of the playoffs.
No, they'll be fine. He'll get them.
Here's the best thing scenario too. Obviously, going into the last week in Green Bay, if you can win that game and get into the playoffs, look what that game does to you. Not only with the weather, but as far as hardening you for that road trips. For everything that they got to do is on the road, right? We got one more game here that we'll see them for the rest of the season because of the Chicago game, and get down there if you can, right? That's it. Everything else they're going to have to do is to be road warriors. So what better way to see if you're prepared than have to go into Green Bay?
Yeah, I want that because you do that.
And even if you lose, at least you know moving forward to what you have to do next year, and you want the smoke of him being in there.
I do. I want all of it because
you want James Houston to come around the edge and
break him in half, and then him have to retire, and them have $100 million cap hit on their salary cap.
Listen, you don't want Aaron Rodgers to be hurt. You just want the $100 million.
I want financial. I want financial ruin.
You want how about
shot
if he hits
down
him
on
so
that
hard
franchise.
He retires? That
Whatever.
would be good.
Whatever happens. Just whatever, man. WoodwardSports.com chat, the real cream of wheat. I don't know. That place hasn't been very kind to the Lions. Ethan Brown said the Lions live rent-free in Rodgers' head. It's weird. No, and it is. He does certainly seem to have a lot to say about the Lions all the time.
Because he wishes Dan Campbell was his head coach.
We in his kitchen because he knows the truth. Truth is he doesn't want the smoke.
Truth is,
right? I want to try to give it because it's that lack of respect. And you know what? He's abused us, and we've been his biatch for his whole career. So, time for us to prove it. He passes it off. Even we beat him once here, once there. Because he always thinks he can throw that 70-yard bomb for a touchdown if he needs it.
I do. I want that, man. Because when you do that, think about that.
It means something.
You go in there and win. And you go take a playoff spot, and you take it from him, and you take it from the Packers in Lambeau Field, there are no more questions to answer. Now it's time to move forward and win a championship. For real. Like, that's what that would signify to me.
Yep.
That is what would signify to me. If they did that under those circumstances, then you blew past a year of the rebuild. Like, you're here now.
You took the last, and I'll leave it because I got the clock. I'm going to let the clock run out. But what you've done in the last half of this season, little more than a half of this season, is combined 3 years into one.
100%.
You really have, right? As far as hitting on a lot of different things, but it's development and what you have moving forward.
Aaron Rodgers is just mad that the Lions actually drafted offensive weapons, and Matthew Stafford has the same amount of Super Bowls as him.
Here's a funny one. Clomp sauce. Michigan went into Columbus and took it. Why don't you say the same for Michigan? I did say that.
Yeah.
Now you have to go take it from the SEC. And if you don't, you came up short.
I mean,
the job's not done.
No, the job certainly isn't done. You did give Michigan credit. You did say, we both said that Michigan basically went in and took Ohio State's manhood. They curb stomped them. They did, and now they got to go play TCU. And if they lose that game, it would just be a disaster. And then let's ride. Play either Georgia and Ohio State, and I think in either of those games they could win. But job is certainly not done yet.
Yeah, this isn't anything you haven't done before. You've been to the playoff. Now you got to go cash one in, and that's kind of my take with the Lions.
And mine's a little different because you made the playoffs and you didn't win that first game. So to say that, but to Sam's point is that the TCU game is a must-win.
100%.
Right, to show that progress. We show different progress. You can look back, and what they did in Ohio State for not doing it for 20-some years is huge moving forward. But they have an opportunity at the same time to make these other strides, these great strides while you're making strides. You don't just have to make one step and then stop. Let's make 2, 3, 4 in the same season.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Rick Lafroy says, damn, Neal got me fired up, wanting to run through a brick wall. I want that, though. I want all the chips in the middle of the table. And I want it in Lambeau.
I think we're ready.
Yeah, and I do too. Well, and you know what? And if we're not, we're going to see.
We'll know it, and you know what? What we've proven, right, is... And I think here's the conversation. We're coming to the point where we can understand that what we have as far as the coaching and the GM and stuff is adequate enough, and actually maybe better than adequate to win in this league. Because they're proven. And how did they get there? Their resilience, and the only way out is through. Head down, work.
Would that be their 90? People are asking, would that be their 1997 moment?
This would be... See, I think in hockey, because it was different. This is more. I'd have to think about what this would be, because it's the expectation, but coming back and sort of believing in yourself and knowing that you got over the hump. So it's almost like 95. You're still going to face. You expect to face. You're not going to get to the promised land, but you've made strides. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes
sense. So maybe
it's
the 90. Maybe it's my first year when we win the President's Trophy, but we lose in the playoffs first round. But it's also, too, a loaded gun since I got here, where you were more on the precipice of winning.
Absolutely.
So it's the build. Let me think about that, Neal. And
you think about it. And in the meantime, we'll think about insurance.
Yes, Swiss Insurance, to be exact. With the holiday season here, Swiss Insurance wants to remind you to insure those gifts of jewelry or collectibles. In the last 2 weeks, Swiss has saved its clients an average of 26% on their insurance premiums while increasing coverage. That's a lot of money to free up for the holiday season. Happy holidays from Swiss Insurance, and go blue.
It's back. Year 3 of Woodward Sports Stuff-A Studio is here. The past 2 years, we've collected new unwrapped toys and stuffed our studio so we could hardly fit in it. This year, we're doing it even bigger. Join Woodward Sports and our whole family December 19th to the 23rd as we stuff our studio. While you're out shopping or just sitting on your couch ordering presents, make sure you grab one extra and drop it off at our studio, 15 Mile in Woodward in Birmingham. We'll be collecting toys around the clock to make sure every child in Mott's Children's Hospital feels the warmth of the holiday season. It's the time of year to do for others. Help us stuff our studio. Special thanks to all the wonderful elves at Meyer and Guardian Alarm for keeping the toys safe. Stuff-A Studio 2022 with Woodward Sports.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Motor City Christmas, the most wonderful time of the year. Sleigh bells ring and caroling, songs of love and cheer. Lights shine over me and you, walking down Woodward Avenue.
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a safe and Happy New Year from the Feldman Automotive family.
Neal Ruhl here for Bedrock Detroit. Downtown Detroit's all decked out this holiday season with the return of the Cadillac Lodge and the Monroe Street Midway. The Midway has the giant slide, winter bumper cars, an indoor arcade, and maybe my favorite part, you can grab drinks at the Lodge before or after games downtown. Shop, eat, and play downtown all winter long with deckedoutdetroit.com. Final segment of the show, a little bit of breaking news that affects things locally, I guess. Billionaire mortgage lender Matt Ishbia is finalizing a purchase of the Phoenix Suns, according to ESPN. The deal is expected to be completed in the near future within the tumultuous tenure of owner Robert Sarver. So, Sarver's getting the old, hey, I'm putting the team up for sale. Yeah, we're asking you to sell it because you're a dick. So that's
the old Donald Sterling.
Yeah, there's vibes.
They
to
do
that
in the NBA. I mean, that's not a question. It's that you won't see that usually in the NFL or anything like that. But yeah, good for Ishbia. I mean, kids got money throwing it around.
No, absolutely, he does. WoodwardSports.com chat thread Kevin Donaldson. Neal giving Dan Campbell a run for his money as a motivational speaker. You should hear me around here sometimes, man. I wear shit, dude.
Gets people going.
Yeah. It does. I take stuff personal, as you might know. But yeah, Red Wings, D-Mac. What's the missing piece? It's the one center, right?
It's just not there yet. Whether you're gonna go with the solidified, you're gonna say they are having trouble scoring goals, or you see last night the special teams sort of get back into it. What happens? Look at what happened last night, right? They're just not there yet. I think that the key is being healthy. Hopefully we'll see Jacob Verona back tomorrow. But they lost last night, and it's the way they're doing it, Neal. It's like they got a 2-0 lead. The ice gets tilted sort of against them in the second period, but they let 2 goals in 11 seconds, right? Good teams really don't do that, but they bounce back. Raymond scores. And then they allow Washington to tie it up, and then Washington won in a pretty nice one-timer by Orlov in overtime. But this is where the team's at. Remember what we were talking about? You don't want to shoot yourself in the foot or whatever, but you look in the midst of this 6-game losing streak, and yeah, they got a point and stuff like this, but you're getting points and you're falling in the standings. So, the teams that have struggled a little bit earlier are coming to fruition of getting back into the balance. So what is the missing link? They got to be healthy. They don't have that luxury. So they got to play almost that, the perfect game with the guys that they have in there. But again, they're just not there. The firepower or whatever, or the goals against. I mean, it's not good enough. They're like 18th in the league and stuff like that, or 20th in the league, which is better, but it's not good enough. Right. Especially in the East.
Especially in this
division.
You
get away with this in the West. They could be a playoff team in the West. It's just so hard in the East because who are you going to pass? And then once you get below somebody, you got to win twice as many games just to make up the room. So I think the reality of what this year is, I think that the more that we stay in this conundrum of this losing streak or not putting wins together, right, we're not going to have that conversation of being in the conversation to get a wild card last. It's the imperativeness.
Do you really feel it slip? I feel it slipping away this time.
I do.
They've come back
because I don't see. Now you're starting to get injuries to your top and stuff like this, and really the Verona and the Bertuzzi, and this is where, remember those 70 goals that you're counting for? these 2 weeks, 3 weeks is when you really needed them, right? Who's cooled down a little bit? Your boy Kubalik's cooled down, which is fine.
You knew.
Right? Perron just got his 10th of the year, which is what you get him in there to sign, but they don't have that when they need it. Now, they're better, and that's why you see the hashtag why is playing Stevie making moves for different things. So the one thing I liked is that there's some younger guy like Jonathan Berggren, proving that he's an NHL hockey player. Right, but right now this is more. I guess this is more the level of the water, and the expectation. And saying that, there isn't a ticket. There isn't a ticket in the building for tomorrow. I was told it's the busiest game of the year so far. So
Really?
I'll be down outside Portal 10 doing Game Day Live, and we'll see it. No better time to start a winning streak before Christmas.
We got Spenny.
Before we leave, I just wanted to say, Adrian Wojnarowski just reported that Ishbia purchase is looking around $4 billion for the Phoenix Suns. $4 billion.
Did you say B?
Just remember, like the Ford family, I think paid what, $5 million for the Lions.
Yeah. Mark Cuban bought the Mavericks for $13 million.
I think the Red Wings, weren't they bought for like $7 million or $6 million?
Some crazy number. Think about that, man.
It's wild.
It is.
Sports.
Wild. The show was wild. Yeah, but real quick, the music is dying for the Red Wings, as we speak. And look at it this way too. The Pittsburgh Penguins are in a wild card spot. Like, that's how tough the sledding is out there in those streets, man. The Penguins are a wild card. You ain't them. You see what I'm saying?
Not yet.
Not yet. So, appreciate everybody tapping in. We'll be back full strength tomorrow, of course. For D-Mac, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter, my name's Neal Ruhl. Thanks for tapping in. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Well, see you later.